So what does a typical day look like for me here? Usually I get up pretty early in the morning, about 7:30, and we each have a couple hours in the morning to either do our quiet times or to go on a walk, maybe exercise, and just kind of start the day off with those 2-3 hours of quiet time and reflecting. Then I usually jump right into studying the language. It's 5 hours a day, so a normal day would look like maybe 1 to 2 hours of practicing vocab or writing sentences or learning the grammar, and then maybe taking a lunch break and getting ready and walking over to my language helper. I then will meet with my language helper for about 2 hours, and they're really helpful with the pronunciation and learning how to communicate, so practicing what I study on my own. Then I'll walk back and then have another 1 to 2 hours of independent study of the language. After that, we usually make some sort of dinner, and depending on the day, sometimes a couple times a week, we walk over to the little grocery stores. There's little markets here. There are big grocery stores also, so it just depends. There's lots of options for food, a lot more than I expected. So we buy lots of vegetables and fruit, buy chicken. So we kind of have a different store for each item we want to buy. Go to one specific person for the eggs, one specific person for the meat, and then everything else. We kind of just see how we feel for the day. So that's a typical day for me. Come back and eat, and then we all brought movies from home, so we'll watch movies or play games or just relax in the evenings. Sometimes we also start to use our social time hours, which would be going back into the community and talking with different people, or inviting our language helpers over to our home, or spending time with our neighbors. So just getting more practice on the language. If you hear me say language a lot, that's because that's the phase that I'm in right now. My days are studying and studying and studying. But it's also, sometimes it's a struggle to keep the motivation, the focus going of just learning the language right now. But it's so important as I see other teammates that have been here for a while, how they're able to work with the refugees and help them in very practical ways because they know the language spoken here. What's really interesting for where we're at is many of the refugees don't actually speak the language here. So we'll be communicating with them through this one and also using different interpreters to understand their language, but to help them here as they try and figure out how to pay their bills or go to the doctor, everyday difficulties for refugees. So that's a typical day for me here.